Hey guys, we're here with Brenda and she is sewing her extensions as we speak. So we're going to be coloring her hair and putting her extensions in to match. It's going to look really good. If you take a look at her hair now, it is quite short. So we're going to show you how to have Insta hair that grows overnight. It's going to be a technique that we use microlink beads to attach the weft to the hair. We're not going to need to do any type of braiding whatsoever. We will be using 3 different colors of extensions to recreate the look that we want. It's going to give a very natural finish to the blonde tones that we have in the hair. You can take a look at this. The meld of colors is going to look really, really good and be quite similar to what we've already been doing with her hair. Our goal is to match Brenda's hair to the extension, so we are going to be changing the color placement when we do her color to match. Brenda's root color is already done, so we're not going to have to worry about doing a color in between. We are just going to be putting in blonde foils. We are going to be doing a partial highlight to add in some blonde. We are going to be doing the entire top portion of the head, the sides, as well the crown in the back. We are going to be putting in slices diagonally forward into the hair. This is going to just help the color disperse very nicely. We are going to use 3 back-to-back blonde foils, leave out a section about the same thickness as the 3 foils, and then we're going to put in another 3 back-to-back slices, skip a section, and so forth. These are the foils all applied in the hair. Now we have the partial completed. Let's take a quick peek in the foils. The blonde looks great. We're ready to wash out. Choose the toner based on the color you're trying to achieve. So we are matching the extension. So we're going to be using a half 10 gold and half 10 natural. We are all washed out now and we're going to dry the hair so that we can put the extensions in. I'll let you take a peek now at the color that it's all done prior to the extensions going in. You can see that the colors match the extensions perfectly. We have 4 wefts sewn in together. That's going to really help disperse the color and give a diffuse color palette. First, we have the lightest blonde going on the bottom. Then we have the darker coppery tone as the next layer. The 3rd layer is going to be, again, that same color of the lightest blonde. And then the 4th one is going to be our darker blonde of more of a neutral tone. We're then going to be sewing all 4 of these wefts together. You can see how nicely the colors meld together and that this is going to match Brenda's hair very, very well. I always like to do a quick test prior to putting the extensions in to make sure that the color matches perfectly. That just saves you any trouble if you do need to do an adjustment prior to putting them in. We are going to start in the back by putting in our first track on the bottom. You can see that this section is going to line up pretty much with the top of Brenda's ear in the nape section. I'm going to start in the center and work my way out. This is how I know to measure the extensions so that they're even across the head. Sometimes you can start on one edge and not realize that you're uneven until you finish. So starting in the middle will prevent that from happening. We are going to be taking a small section of hair on the top and the bottom of the weft. We're going to wrap those sections of hair around the weft like so. This hair is going to be used to hold the weft in place, so make sure you have enough hair that it will not be pulled out from the scalp, but also that you don't have too much hair that we're able to fit nicely into the microlink bead. Clip the weft into place so that it provides some support as you're linking in the beads. It will prevent the weft from moving around and moving out of place while you're putting in the first few beads to secure it into place. You're now going to take your threader that has microlink beads on it. You're going to loop the hair through and pull the threader out so that you have the microlink bead wrapped around both strands of hair. Once you secure this in place, this is what's going to hold the weft securely to the head. Now you're going to take the bead crimper and you're going to pull the bead tight to the scalp. Make sure to hold the hair flat to the head so that the hair lies flat towards the head and it's not sticking out. Crimp the bead tightly to hold the bead in place. You can see that it's crimped tightly in place and it holds the hair snug to the head. You want to make sure that the extensions are held in securely with enough hair so that there's not too much tension on your natural hair. If there's too much tension on the hair, it can cause it to tear out from the root, or it can cause damage to the hair. So you really want to make sure that these extensions are supported and secure in the hair. We're now going to work our way out from the center towards each end on the sides. So we're going to be putting in a microlink bead every half an inch to an inch. It's going to vary based on the head. So you want to make sure you put in enough hair and enough microlinks that it provides a foundation to hold the weft in securely. You want to make sure that you're securing the ends of each weft to Brenda's hair. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a small section of hair from the end of the weft and a small section of Brenda's natural hair. We're going to be looping that together in the bead and securing it in place. And this is going to ensure that the ends of the weft do not lift out of the hair as the hair starts to grow. We have our first track all done now. We're ready to do our second track now. This is going to be going about 1.5 inches above the ear. We're going to again place our weft there to make sure that the color placement and everything looks good. Now we have our second track all fastened and secured to the hair. Now we're going to be moving to the last two wefts, and they're both going to be on the same level of the head. We're going to take the top section. We're going to split the hair right down to the center of her head just for easy sectioning. Again, we are going to test the color out to make sure that it looks good in the hair. Make sure you're sectioning evenly on both sides of the head. We want to make sure that everything is very symmetrical on each side. Again, we will put the color in to test to make sure the color looks good and that the extensions are sitting in the right spot on both sides. We have the top section all sectioned out now. You can see that we are starting at the parietal ridge and working our way around a horseshoe at the top. I typically would never have extensions up above the parietal or higher. But with Brenda's hair, because her hair is so short and we want to preserve as much length as we can in the extensions, in order to make the extensions blend, we will have to put the extensions higher on the head, and that's why they're at the parietal. Typically, having extensions on the parietal or higher are going to make it much more difficult for your client to camouflage the hair as they style it day through day. We're now going to start on the outside of the hair extensions and work our way in. The reason being is that I want the extensions to end in the same place on the head on each side so that it's symmetrical. We also want to make sure that the hair extensions are not extending too far forward because it's going to be very visible in the hair. We want to leave at least 1 inch to 1.5 inches of perimeter around the entire head where the extensions are not touching. This will allow for Brenda to be able to tie her hair back easily and hide the extensions in her hair. Weft number 3 all complete. Now on the other side, we're doing the same thing. We're going to start on the outside and work our way back towards the center. We can see that we have properly lined up the hair now so that both wefts meet in the back in the center perfectly so that they're not overlapping and that they connect almost perfectly. You can take a look at the extensions now with their hair in its natural state. They blend and look awesome. I'm also going to style them for you so you can take a look at it that way. Here's a round view with the hair all styled. All right, we're all done. Brenda's hair now. Look how fabulous it looks. Color matches perfectly. How do you love your long locks, Brenda?
They are awesome.
Insta hair.
Yes, it's amazing. Perfectly matched.
All right, guys, so that's this week's video. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. We love to hear from you guys. Subscribe because we put out new videos every Friday. And if you guys want to win nvenn prizes, go to nvenn.com/giveaway, and we do draws all the time. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.